What is going on, everyone? Tim from Tierfon Orbital. So today I would like to go over and install commission a pair of commissions that I completed on an ELF TFU2, the Force Unleashed 2. These are special hybrid chassis. I call them hybrid chassis, but they are known as master chassis or metal master chassis in the lightsaber community. I think Rick from Goth 3D coined them as master chassis, but I like to call them hybrid chassis because they are a mixture of MJF Nylon and premium metals. In this case, there are brass parts in these chassis. Now, I did one of these a couple of weeks ago, and both of these are going they're going to two different people. One is actually, they're both going to friends, actually. But one is going to my buddy K. Sith, Keenan, and the other is going to a good friend of mine, Wenfei. So they're both the same install. They're both of the hilts are weathered. I weathered both of these and I wrapped both of them, right? So I do want to go over, we're going to come into Fusion and we're going to talk about the chassis. Again, I do know that we just went over this, but I do want to come into Fusion, talk about the chassis. We'll talk about the design a little bit, and then we will come up top. We will talk about both of the hilts because they are a little bit different. I mean, the only difference really is the wrap, right, on both of them. And then we will put blades in both, do a quick demo, and then we will be on our way. I felt as though this would be a little bit more efficient than doing two separate videos for both of them because they are both the same install, right? So anyhow, with all of that out of the way, let's come into Fusion. Okay, so here it is. This is the chassis kit. Now, I have offered this, or I have listed this now on my website. There is a special section on my website now that is titled Hybrid Chassis. So if anyone wants to purchase these, I will be offering them on my website. So if anyone wants them, they are now available. Also, at the time of recording this video, I will start offering full all-in-one purchases of hilt installs. So it's like a one and done kind of deal. And this hilt in particular will be the first guinea pig for that. So what that looks like is you make the purchase and you will get everything. You will get the whole hilt, you will get the chassis, you will get the whole install. Just like all-in-one, fully installed hilt with a hybrid heirloom special chassis. You will get the hilt and you will get this chassis all in one. I'm offering the hilt as a clean, brand new hilt. If anyone wants the hilt weathered, I will consider that, but I'm just trying this out. So if anyone, I'm trying to offer it as like an easy shopping experience. Like if anyone wants just to kind of stop by and purchase a hilt that's already installed with a nice chassis, they can just come by, purchase it, and be on their way, right? So anyhow, just thought I'd throw that out there. So let's talk about the chassis. We are going to start at the bottom, right? So this main body of the chassis is done in MJF Nylon. I do have some very basic greeblies that are done in polished brass on both sides of the chassis, right? I have got to get better with navigating in Fusion. This is awful, I know. I'm sorry for everybody if I'm making you dizzy. So these brass greeblies were done in polished brass. All of the brass parts are done in polished brass. For both of these installs, I did go back and weather the brass, okay? I prefer using large magnets when I am using magnetized parts. I've gone over this before in previous videos. I feel as though using small magnets is a huge pain. Using larger magnets helps to secure the door a lot easier. If you've got a board cover, it's the same. So I use larger magnets on the chassis side, smaller magnets on the battery cover side, right? So here's the battery cover. Battery tray is here. We have a 28 millimeter speaker at the bottom here. Both of these speakers are from Smugglers Outpost. Okay. Around back, this is where our Proffie board is. Just underneath the Proffie board is where our kill switch is. Making our way up top, here is our crystal chamber. Okay, so I talked about this in the last video. I went over a little bit more in detail, this hinge mechanism, this door mechanism. But the door itself, technically this is done in resin through the printing company that I use. I'm not sure how they get the clarity that they get in resin. I really think this is polycarbonate, but it's listed as resin, right? So this whole door swings open and is secured in the closed position with a 3mm magnet on each end, right? So there's a 3mm magnet here, a 3mm magnet here, and it just keeps that door closed, nice and secure. Okay, and there is that crystal chamber. There is a quartz point in both of these builds, a real quartz. Inside of the crystal chamber, I've just got some simple probes, kind of securing the crystal in place. The crystal is also E6000 in place, just to make sure it's not going anywhere. And then just some simple greeblies and ridges along the outside of the crystal chamber. Inside of the crystal chamber, let me see if I can isolate this. So inside of the crystal chamber, this is where I bring up all of my wires. This is way bigger than it needs to be because I'm only bringing up, well, how many is it? 3 leads to my blade. But I like to make these bigger than they need to be. That way I'm not, scraping wires against the brass or anything. So I just like to, I like to make extra room just to allow myself, just extra room. So I'm not squeezing wire or cram-fooing wire through my wire passages, right? And that is where they come out the top. And then I marry a upper PCB holder to the top of that crystal chamber, right? Inside of these 2 cavities, we've got 2 red button tactile switches, and that is what the plunger switches on the control box make a connection to on the outside of the hilt. Up top, there is a lit PCB connector. This is from CCsabers in both of the installs. All right, really happy with this door mechanism. I feel like it's just like a lot. I know it's like super over engineering. It's like super extra, but I feel like it looks really unique. I'm happy with how it came out. All right, so let's come up top. All right, so here we are. Welcome. Thanks for going up top. Here they are, the TFU2 from ELF Sabers. There have been many versions of this hilt. I happen to think the ELF version is the best. This version of the ELF version is the best. There is a new version of this coming out from ELF that has a larger pommel. I gotta say, I'm not a fan of that, but hey, it is what it is. So this version is great. It's a really great looking hilt, and I happen to think that it is the better of the ones that have come out in recent years. Okay, so I have weathered both of these hilts. I've mentioned in previous videos about this particular hilt that weathering these is not very easy. There's a lot of very strange anodization that goes on with these hilts, but with that being said, I do enjoy weathering them. It just takes a little bit extra time weathering them, right? So I took a lot of grinding wheels or buffing wheels to both of these hilts. I also added some gouges and scuff, or some scratches, to both of them just for some light battle scarring, some in the pommel here. I did the same with this one, just to give it a little bit of extra weathering, okay? Some of the greeblies were heat stained. The wraps, right? So we'll talk about the wraps. Both of these have been wrapped with real leather. I have a lot of leather stock here. I bought a bunch of leather a while back that I just keep here in stock. So I cut the leather to size, and I wrap myself, and then I treat it with mink oil, right? So I've rubbed both of these down with mink oil just to treat it. It makes the leather feel more supple in your hand. So both of these have been treated. I know that black technically is, I believe, the Canon, how the hilt should look. So Keenan, I did yours in tan. because you gave me full creative control for your hilt. I like tan grips. I think tan grips look really sexy, and I think they look good. And I think it looks really good on this hilt. So if you don't like tan, you can remove this grip and you can wrap it with whichever one you want. I mean, you can, this is not permanent, obviously. So I just happen to like tan. So that's why yours has a tan grip and this one has a black grip. But both of the grips have been treated and they are ready to go, right? So what else? Both hilts have been weathered, as I mentioned. And yeah, so let's talk about the installs, right? Both installs are the same. So to get your chassis, you want to remove the grip. There's one. And there is two. Both are the same. Same build, real quartz point in that crystal chamber. Let me get a pair of batteries here. So, magnetized battery cover, you want to remove that. Spring side is your negative. Okay. Once you have put your battery in place, you can hit your kill switch. All right. There is that magnetized door cover. And here's this one. All right. So I'm going to leave the covers off these for now so we can come down and get a closer look on camera. But that is it. Let's come down to the bottom. Okay, so there's that door. It is secured with a little tiny nut in the back there. I don't know if you can see that. Okay. All right. Let's put the grips back on these. And here's the other one. Okay. Love the way these sound. Right. Now, both of these have 28 millimeter elite speakers from Smugglers Outpost. See what else we got.
Peace is a lie.
Now I happen to know that that K-Sith doesn't like his hilts to be too loud, so I'll probably tone down the volume on this one. Let's put a blade in both of them. I'm gonna do one at a time here, right? So we've got a 1-inch blade holder here. You want to rest your blade on those PCB pins. There is a set screw around back here that will serve as your blade retention. So just tighten that so it is hugging your blade and you are good to go.
Welcome to the bill.
One more.
Dissonance.
This font, I mean, I cannot stop talking about this font from Case Dissonance. One more.
What is it? Father's lightsaber. This is the weapon of a Jedi Knight.
Let me get some shine through in that glass eye up front there. Camera can focus. There we go. All right. And let's pop a blade in the other one really quick. Same deal, obviously. 1-inch blade.
What is it?
This is really loud.
Father Dooku. Just a simple wonder.
I sense an unusual amount of fear for something as trivial as this trade dispute.
So I set this up. This is Keenan. This is yours. I set this up with a bunch of different fonts. Some are your fonts. Some are prequel fonts. I put my custom blade styles on this one as well.
I let you live.
That's I think that's a Starkiller font.
Initiate security protocol 115.
I don't know what that is. Okay. Yeah, this hilt is almost too loud. Yeah, that's going to be a special one.
Lord Vader.
What else we got?
Horizon.
A lot of K-Sith. A lot of K-Sith.
I'm gonna kill him.
All right, anyway, so that's the TFU2 from Elf Sabers. Both of them are. I really like both of these hilts. I love the way they sound. I am very proud of how the chassis came out for this hilt. And I am getting one for myself. I actually really, really like this hilt. It's a very nice hilt. I am big on sound, and there's just something about the resonance chamber at the bottom of this hilt that makes it sound very, 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 very good. So I'm a big fan of this hilt. So anyhow, to both of my friends who got these hilts, thank you very much for being my friends and listening to me ramble on about both of these hilts. If anyone is interested in this chassis or has any questions about this hilt, please do not be a stranger. And with that being said, may the force be with you always. Have a good one, everybody.